Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison coming to you live here for the Pepsi 400 here tonight at Daytona. We arrive back here in Florida where we see a little bit of haze out there as the drivers are getting ready and gritted up there on the track. As many as you would think, over 30 drivers I've got locked and loaded here, and they're going to get ready as soon as they can. About another 30 seconds here on them loading up, and they'll be ready to go. But let's take a look here at tonight's race. 96 laps is what these guys are going to be running. Unfortunately, their fuel won't be able to go that far, as they'll only be cut down to a 77% fuel limit. 10 sets of tires will be down there in the pits, this it being a fixed setup league. And of course, be very careful where these guys are drafting here tonight. It has been some trouble since the update with the Chevy Monte Carlo and the Ford Taurus out there. These guys bumping and banging out there has been causing a few pileups. So if you guys at the backup car are ready, I'll be your lead producer tonight. Stella joining alongside me here as well. And what an awesome job as these guys looking to have a great time here tonight on this 86-degree temperature track. Stella, anything to add here before we get to our starting grid, which they are, I believe, getting ready to fire off here and drive off pit road?
Yep, sounds good. Well, we do have a race control here tonight. Greg will be helping us out, watching what's going on the track.
All right, race control Greg going to be on point here as he's got a lot of work left to do. You see how many drivers, I'm blown away each and every week. I'm showing 35 drivers exactly here out there on the track, and they'll be getting ready to go here in just a moment as the pace car finally fires off and we get our guys moving out here. Now, this track has been very helpful to a lot of drivers out here, especially at Daytona, where we've seen Dale Earnhardt try over 20 times to come away with a win, but a lot of guys are going to be looking to repeat the performance that Jeff Gordon had last time he was at this track when he won the Pepsi 400 back in the 2003 season out there. So let's go ahead and find out where our guys are out there and where that number 24 is going to be, as well as we get this one ready to go. Drivers getting up to speed here, still pouring out of pit road there, and we'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kevin Ballmer. Not bad there from the AOL machine. They'll see the number 30. He starts in the number 1 position. Joey Stats will be second. Dalton Tucker sits third next to Josh Conover. Moving on to Matthew George, who sits fifth, and Jacob Gladelick sitting in sixth. Nick Geilis, seventh. Not bad for the Alltel machine. We'll see if he can hang in there. Have seen him up and down here as of late, so hopefully he will be able to continue that sort of speed here next to Vincent Arthur in the 24. We'll see how he does. Moving on to Dustin Cleveland, Christopher Heitz to round out our top 10. On the row number 6, Cody Smith starting 11th next to Chase Durheim, who sits in the 12th position. As Durheim and Durham screwed up last time.
I always say Durham, so it must be Durheim.
Oh, beautiful. Ryan Shelton 13th, Logan Hagerman 14th, Cody Height 15th, and Scavanicki will be starting in the 16th position. Trusting the process will be Brady Moats in 17th. Next there's Jarek Chapeau. Moving on to Brian Jones, Ross Lineback, who starts in 20th. Moving on to row number 11, Cody Reeder and Kyle Rochelle, Jake Christenberry, Martin Flute. A lot of drivers here with penalties. Moving on for Blake Hoppy, Durheim, Christopher Darling, Tyler DeTalent, and we get ready to go here as it looks like the rest of these drivers are shuffling around out there. I'm showing Vincent Arthur with some trouble as he starts in the 29th position here tonight. He'll be already on the back foot to get this one started, and away we go. Still an early fumble for our guys out there as the sun begins to set. Drivers are going to be dealing with that glare coming into turn number 1 here tonight, and it's going to be a high-pressure situation as we see these guys shoot on through. Notice who's already in the lead. Conover jumps that number 8 out front. Not bad here as he shuffles with the number 20 of Jacob Gladelick behind him, running that Tony Stewart Home Depot machine. Right now, looking to see if anybody's got any problems out there. I'm showing a couple of guys already shuffling here toward the back with some contact off the wall. Stella, right now, a little rough start for some of our drivers out there, especially drivers like Vincent Arthur, who's now down in the 28th position. Joey Stats looks like he serves a penalty here. He was sitting in the number 1 spot. He's going to be dead last.
Yeah, we do have a couple of EOLs due to last week's race. you will see some of our high qualifiers having to fight their way back up from the back.
All right, little shuffle up there. So RC making sure they start in the correct spot. Moving up to the 77 here of Martin Plute. Normally driving the Brendan Gaulken car. And right now he is seeing if he can get on through. Boy, he's got a traffic jam in front of him, though. Stella, I would say with speeds like this that you get from these cars out there, you expect to see a lot of guys being able to move up to the front, seeing that you can reach speeds as fast as you do at Talladega, but a skinnier track. So a lot of guys have been having trouble. If this does end up getting slung 3 wide, a lot of guys are going to be pressing up to the front. And I would say that the drivers are being very cautious out there of what they are planning to do and how they are making their moves before they decide to jump on the draft train out there. Wow, nice slice by Anthony Kroback. Kroback gaining 12 already here from the outside to the inside line. Now he's trying to calm that car down a little bit from that dangerous move that he did make.
A couple of these guys must think that this is as wide as Talladega because they're trying to go another lane higher and instead meeting that safer barrier wall.
Yeah, who else has time to shoot up to the front and figure this track out? Josh Conover leading one of the pit parties out there during practice. Josh Conover now currently sitting in 7th after he was in the lead. Kevin Baumler from pole position returns back to that number 1 spot here at Daytona. As this continues to drop off, it is looking really dark out there, and I'm waiting for Daytona officials out there to start firing off these lights and getting them warmed up. That way these guys do not feel like they are driving, that way they're not driving out there in the dark. Tough run here. Still solid lines here as we move on back to a driver like Matthew George. Currently, I believe he is caught on the outside, and the lead car on that outside line. Oddly enough, he seems to be losing a lot of pace here. Looking at some of his speed, he's running about 2 miles an hour slower. And I'm wondering if he's not getting any help from the Wesley Wallace machine out there of Christopher Heights.
Yeah, not sure if it's that, if he needs to snug down a little bit more and get a little bit of door draft going, but he should be able to fly a little bit faster up there on the high line. The high line's usually preferable.
Yeah, that he's trying to do. Notice the number 1 of Brady Moats. He floats out to the side, and check this out. Starting to work toward the outside. Looks like the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated team is starting to flood that outside line. Where Cody Height leads the charge of those cars, and now he gets cut in front of. Taking a look, trying to see which car that is. Some of the paint schemes have changed. Kevin Palmer for one of them, not in that normal blue AOL machine, but in the throwback side white car in his Chevy Monte Carlo out there.
Must be an away game.
Yeah. Take a look over top here. And our Chase drone cam float over top. The Dale Jarrett machine of the 88 of Logan Hagerman. His Ford has moved up 9 positions, and that's going to be a huge move. Watch Hagerman start to reel in that 12. Finally gets some speed and some help there on the outside, charging forward. He finally meets up with the Ryan Newman Alltel machine there of Nick Giles.
Yeah, very good. Also want to mention that Jay has made it. We have our first chatter out in the Ethernet.
Okay. So, Jay joining us out there in the chat. Appreciate you joining alongside us here tonight, buddy. It is going to be an interesting race here tonight. Single file for most of our front guys, all the way at least back to the 6th position. Slicing on through. Check out Brian Jones now starting to make up the gap. And finally, we end up with somebody 3 wide with Derek Chaput on the bottom. 15 car of Cody Height is getting marched out. Dale Jarrett machine on the outside of Logan Hagerman. And the 15 getting shuffled out here. Remember, Cody Height actually was out in front of Josh Conover to help lead that charge to the outside, and that outside line just came apart. 15 still stuck. Height down to 13th. Right now, he can't seem to catch a break here. Right now, he's trying to find another angle, and he might have to cut over in front of Conover again as he looks like he's getting a little annoyed by Hagerman's line here.
Well, he's still doing all right. He actually is getting a little bit of help in the front of him there where they're making their own new high line.
Yep, finally cuts over in front of Hagerman. Now he moves up to the front. This, unfortunately, will snug him back here in the 19th position around Vincent Arthur and Jake Christenberry. So there's the Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson machine out there. And waiting to see. A lot of guys have rotated to the back here, Stella. I'm noticing everybody. I'm wondering if they're thinking of the big one here tonight, if something is going to happen. During practice, I would have figured they would have made it past lap number 2, but here we are getting lap number 9 underway here. It's almost halfway complete. They fire out at turn number 4. Still in the lead is Kevin Ballmer. Has yet to be put under fire at all here, but Dalton Tucker knows how to bide his time, wait it out, and he's going to attack much later on. I think it's just going to be an act of survival here, Stella, all the way to the end to figure out who is going to be able to, honestly, to be able to stick it, to kind of do the stick and move out there with guys being able to find their right lane, find their draft partner, and work their way to the front. I mean, look at this. Christopher Heights is finally taking over the lead. And I don't mean finally taking over the lead, but Kevin Ballmer has yet to be contested. And now he has lost the lead here out front. The number 2 machine of Christopher Heights has it now.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we got a little sun there for a second. I'm almost blind. Yeah, that was a nice move. He actually was not getting current pushing from Nick Geilis when he made that challenge. He was using pure door draft on Kevin. So that's very nice. LJ Hernandez also out there in the chat rooting on Brian Jones.
All right, Brian Jones does have some work to do, sitting back in the 12th position. The driver's starting to fan out here. Remember, no stages here at this track. Obviously, we will be starting single file if a caution were to come out. So guys are starting to be really careful that their opportunities out here are limited. You definitely want to try to take as much of this track in as many positions as you can when guys are starting too wide at the very beginning of the race. Only driver, I believe, is lapped down. I believe checking here is Nick Pressey, who may have ended up in some trouble, started a little bit late, about 7 laps too late, as the 0 car here of Nick Pressey all by himself. And he is only getting lap number 3 underway. Hate to see that for him. Let's move back to a driver like Cody Reeder sitting in the 27 machine. Or, excuse me, sitting 27th in the 19 out there. Right now, the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield's Dodge. Currently trying to figure out where the rest of his guys are. Looking forward, he's trying to see if he can locate Brian Jones and Dustin Kaleba. Currently that team there for MAM Motorsports. Brian Jones sitting 13th, moving up farther than that is Kaleba, who's currently sitting in 6th. Right now, rough night for him. Kaleba is gaining 4 as we ride on top here with Dustin Kaleba. Right now, this Dodge team is having a heck of a time. It's all right. Looks like a little micro dent there on the left side of Dalton Tucker's bumper already. Might be some a little of this push drafting out there.
Darn, I was hoping that was where his little exhaust came out, but nope, absolutely right.
Yeah, exhaust comes out right in front of the rear tires.
Ah, okay, like cutoffs.
Yes. All right, check it out. 45 machine of Brian Jones now up, so well, currently sitting in 12th. Jones is sitting behind Jacob Gladelick in the 20. Everybody's still staying pretty solid here. I would say you were talking earlier about the number 2 fighting his way up there by himself, using a little bit of that door draft, but it does take a lot of discipline out there by the drivers and a lot of attention from the drivers to race that close together. It's best if they do separate out there. As you can see, we're taking a look at the 06 out there with a little bit of that nose tape of Ryan Shelton. And Shelton trying to do some work here on the outside. He's gained 8 here so far as he battles next to Dustin Kaleba. Nice fast drive-by here at 193 miles an hour. They are definitely crossing it up. John Detalent out there joining us as well. So that's up to at least 3 out there commenting out there, guys. Appreciate you joining us here tonight at SimTraX Broadcasting. This is the Pepsi 400 here tonight at Daytona. As that chase for the cup is beginning to get closer and closer each and every week. And a lot of guys have been getting nervous here. All right, well, we're starting to get the time. We're starting to watch the amount of points we're gaining. Can we squeeze in? Can we make it? And we'll start squeezing down by sometime around next week or the week after on our points chase out there and how far guys are off that mark that they do need to make. So we'll keep an eye on guys who are going to be joining us out there in the playoffs. And now the 42 machine getting another shove there by Dustin Kaliba. I like Kaliba's intuition there. He really wants to see if he can push Dalton Tucker and get Kevin Walter back up front. They enjoyed being out there single file, but ever since Heights has battled out there for the lead, woes continue, unable to get any more. Shoot to the line. That's going to go to Heights. He leads yet another lap.
Who is our yellow car? All the way in the back of this first group.
Yellow car, blue lid.
Yes, I just saw him go by. All the way at the tail. There you go. 43?
Yep.
Okay.
John Skavenicki.
Okay. I was trying to figure out who was putting dents in my wall.
Yeah, he's popped it a few times here. He's lost 14 positions here on the night. Right now, without a penalty, that really hurts his Ford Taurus out there as he's unable to get back up to the front. Cody Reeder's now dropped down to the 30th spot. And starting way, way, way in the back, and we have been caution-free here at this league before. We can do it, so right now, drivers like Joey Stats, Tony Ball, Kirk Quist, and Joseph Andujar are currently 31st through 34th. Way off pace here.
They are in the second clump?
Yes, they are sitting back almost, good Lord.
5 seconds?
Minimum, almost 6.5 off the pace. 5 seconds off the back of the field. Right now, everybody,
that's where I was going.
Yeah, everybody clumped together here from the lead back to Cody Reeder. Separates by only 2 seconds. And then farther beyond that, interesting to see the 19 of Cody Reeder hang so far back. He does attack much later on here.
As long as he can avoid anything that happens with the gaggle of cars in front of him.
Yep. Well, we look to the Kevin Harvick machine out there of Tyler DeTalent. Currently up 12, sitting 17th. I would say, Stella, when we get to a track like Daytona, super speedway style, everybody comes out. Everybody makes sure they pitch their hat into the ring to see if they can get just a little bit out there and maybe come away with an advantage. A good points night. But, man, oh, man, when if a caution were to happen, a wreck happens, it ends up taking a ton of people out. And I would say he is not being collected in one of those. And very, very difficult for these guys to be out there and you know, to get their team ahead, to help the ownership points that they try to gain out there. And it just becomes oh so difficult as we take a look at Jake Christenberry, another driver who's moved up a bunch of positions there with Martin Plute in the 77 on the bottom. Jake Christenberry currently in that 48 Lowe's machine toward the top. His Chevrolet has been on a tear here so far, up 16, but as we continue moving up front, take a look. Christopher Heights decided to take the bottom, and he's going to lose his lead lap there to Ryan Shelton in the 06, as Shelton now peels down to the bottom.
Be darned. I was looking at Kyle Rochelle, up 19, sitting in a podium position right now. He started down there in the mid-pack.
Yeah, Kyle Rochelle out there in the all-white car. Currently, I believe this is right when sponsorship started peeling off a few of the cars. You also notice the number 99 car out there with kind of the same disease out there as being sponsorless. This is extremely
peeling off. They just need better glue on their decals.
Yeah, no, they end up re-signing and going just a little bit longer. In some cases, sponsorship would last 3 months, sometimes 6 races, and then they ended up coming up with an empty hand, which Kyle Rochelle not looking to come away empty-handed right now. That's 21 positions. 39 Chevrolet out front. He's leading the pack.
Nice job. That was very solid and well planned and well executed.
Well, speaking of executing here, look who is on the outside line.
Yes, Vince Arthur.
Vincent Arthur currently sitting in second, starting to use a little bit of that voodoo magic here. He conjured up a little Jeff Gordon speed. The 24 car out front gets himself a lead lap.
Yeah, I think perhaps he is trying to vindicate himself from last week's finish. That Sonoma, of course, was not necessarily his friend. He did not make the podium.
Yeah, well, he ended up getting in a little trouble out there, if I remember right. Memory serves me right. Trouble with Brady Moats, and I think the two of them probably have hashed it out and figured out, what needs to change between the two, come to an understanding, and Sears Point definitely became a little bit of trouble out there for Vincent Arthur. Now I'm noticing right now, inside line is starting to wake up again. Jake Christenberry across the line. Stella, we're getting a ton of lead changes here with guys shuffling back and forth, but some of them still remain in a comfortable area. Look at Nick Geilis, currently sitting back here in 9th. He's lost a couple, but he's still within range. Josh Conover had fallen back. He's sitting 6th, and he's working the outside lane. Right now I'm waiting to kind of rally capping here for Anthony Kroback. When the way he sliced down to the bottom lane and is yet to give up on it. Kroback looking at 4th, currently snugged in behind Ryan Shelton. All three of our top 3 guys have led a lap here tonight, and right now I'm waiting for Anthony Kroback to see if he can sneak in there and do a little more. Stella, we got to start watching our fuel window here as we come across the line for lap number 24 to get started. 23 laps these cars have done out there tonight. We'll see who's in the draft, who's out of the draft, who has been fuel saving, and who's been saving the tires. I've heard through the grapevine that tires are going to be a moot point here tonight unless you are under caution. What do you say, and do you think there's going to be a possibility of just fuel and goes?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I've seen these guys go 60, 80 laps here at Daytona. That banking is really pretty nice and sweet for them. Doesn't tear up the tires too badly. Yeah, unless it's a caution. I think you're right. 10 sets of tires is way overdue.
All right, here they come, peeling down into pit lane. As everybody gets the invite, few take it. Moving on to Conover, Height, Baumler, Brady Moats, and Tyler DeTalent. Oddly enough to see Tyler DeTalent come down. He was in the draft there for quite some time. I thought he might be able to go a couple more laps. With this not being a fire sale, this is now going to break our teams apart.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, some guys are wondering if this is there. I can see some of the crew chiefs over there. Already, I'm looking at one of them out there that looks like the 99 car. His crew chief has thrown his headset on the desk, and I'm wondering if he kind of got the memo, he missed the memo that he needed to come in. 99 to Chase Durham, currently moving on in, as he was caught on the outside. Notice this. Fire we go. Watch the slide through. We got our eyes here on Christopher Darling.
Off.
Darling gets into 12 of Geilis. Can't blame him. As we had a driver sliding around out there, and he ended up almost backwards.
But at least he was able to get off the track, so not to hold anybody up too badly coming down pit road.
Yeah, I think the driver that was around ended up being Tony Ball. In the 0-2, he was the one who was sideways. And Kyle Rochelle is showing a little trouble here. I'm showing possibly an off-track moment. We'll take a look. Oh, car, not stopping. Nope, this is actually Kyle Rochelle. I stand corrected. Kyle Rochelle actually ended up out of sorts. So he should be able to fire off.
Oh, but he towed.
Yeah, well, you were talking earlier about how Kyle Rochelle was doing, getting up into the lead. He will not be leading any more laps here tonight. That was him towing, so I don't know what. I don't know. He had a chance of trying to recover, but that is not going to be the case.
Whoa,
check this out.
Wow.
Yeah, well, these are lapped cars now. as that is Kurt Quist and Joey Stats. These are the guys
Yeah,
that
we
were
were
way
like
off pace.
4 wide trying to zig in and out to make sure that they were on the inside line to be able to come down pit road in this clump of cars.
Yeah, I would say this is pretty rough racing out here. Joey Stats still remains here in 31st after pitting back on lap number 25. Only a few left to go. Now I think the best thing pit road can do for Chase Durham, right, currently sitting in 6th in the number 99 car. Have a good pit stop. Whoop, looks like a little slip up there. Set of right side tires here for the 99, and back out he goes. Nice little pit stops here for all of our guys, starting with Cody Smith leading the charge off of pit road. He's out there in the 22 machine of Scott Wimmer. Going to see if that Dodge can get going here. Right now, Gladelick, Kleba, Reeder, and Brian Jones, the last of our drivers to do it.
Yes.
Right now,
I was just going to say, our 4 leaders are coming in.
Yeah, Cody Smith trying to get up to speed here as our drivers here at full speed are on the outside, led by Vincent Arthur. Arthur catching up to the 97. That's going to go ahead and put the Sharpie machine behind, and Cody Smith is going to drop down to at least 3rd. Waiting for Dustin Kleba as he works his way out of pit road now, and he's going to be really on the back foot. Long way to go. 40 seconds behind since Vincent Arthur, but he is currently at 188 miles an hour. Kleba's going to really need to step on it here. The entire Evernham Motorsports crew currently sitting 1, 2, and 3. They definitely tag teamed that one very, very well. Looks like a set of right side tires for all of them as well in fuel. Stella, drivers have taken right side tires here and a full tank of fuel. Are we possibly dealing with any tire wear issues out there?
Might have something. I think maybe they're figuring better safe than sorry in case they go, another 30 laps with no caution.
Yeah, I would wonder if they came in again, if they would end up taking only left sides to try to even out the wear, but I don't believe so. Drivers like Josh Conover, we scratched our head a little bit. He actually ended up spending 15.2 seconds down there in the pit, as well as, I believe,
Christopher Darling.
Cody Height and Christopher Darling. Now, I'd be really surprised if Christopher Darling, they didn't were checking that left front fender after the contact with Nick Gillis coming down pit road.
Yeah, the only other person that spent any kind of time was the number 80, Brad Fulham. Looks like he might have gone ahead and done 4 tires and fuel.
Yep. Coming down pit road was Kyle Rochelle on the spin out there on lap number 25. Kyle Rochelle is already, we were talking about throwing his hat into the ring, coming into the lead, but throws the towel in now. He is already back there in the garage. Right now I'm showing about another 2 laps, and Nick Pressey will no longer be in the dead last position. Right now this has been a rough year for the 39 target machine of Kyle Rochelle. Just can't seem to get it under control out there as Scott Pruitt's car just not doing what it needs to do this year. I know he wants to get into the playoffs, but we've had some attendance issues. We've had pit road issues. We've had even collisions out there on the track that have been nothing but trouble for both these, for the 39 target car. And I would wonder, is he going to get a break, or is this slump going to continue?
Yeah, let's not say slump out loud.
Okay. All right, Nick Pressey just passed Kyle Rochelle, so now he moves on up. Keeping this roll going, taking a look at Martin Plute and Christopher Darling. Both these guys rolling out there. It looks like, ooh, is the Greg Biffle machine thinking about shooting it? No, he cannot. Looks like Brady Moats is going to go ahead and take that number 1 car, give a hard shove there to the 77. And Brady Moats and John Scavanicki charging up to the front. Now there's a huge gap out here on the track. Let's take a look. As a couple of guys have figured out that there is no room for error here. They've got to charge to the front.
Yeah, that's what Joey Stats and Joseph Andujar.
Which one? The
In 31 and 32.
Yes, those are the stragglers. Yep. Yep, so we sit actually here with Ryan Shelton, the last one of this front clump of cars. It should be the last one of the top 5. Kind of taking a peek here. Right now, as I see currently leading, Kleba, Cody Reeder, and Brian Jones sitting 1, 2, and 3. And then 2.5 seconds back is where we find the 22 machine.
Yeah, right now I'm watching 42 of Dalton Tucker. Just in this last lap, he's made two places.
Yeah, finally snagging the end of the field here. That is Christopher Heights, who had to come down pit road a second time.
Ouch.
All right, Nick Pressey trying to get back up to speed there. And we'll see if we can get an update out there on Christopher Heights and see what happened. Stella, if you wouldn't mind, give a check on the Penske Jasper Racing team out there with Ryan Shelton, Nick Gillis, Christopher Heights, and Martin Plute. And see what happened to the number 2 machine, why we had to come back down into pit road. I don't know 100% if we had a pit violation, and he had to come back down and serve a drive-through. But talk about going from the lead to 33rd and a lap down. That's a heartbreaker here. So we'll keep an eye on those two and see what exactly happened. Moving up, Christopher Darling, we talked about him earlier, currently sitting in the 25th. As he is getting behind, I believe that should be the Singular Wireless car there, the 31 machine of Robbie Gordon, of Blake Hoppy out there. As these guys are clumping together to figure out if they've got their best foot in front. Still remaining in the same position goes Chase Durham, currently sitting in 12th. His brother Chance, currently in 11th. This almost feels like a Labonte scheme out here. Both Terry and Bobby Labonte out there doing their best job. And we have Chase and Chance Durham currently out there running 11th and 12th. Stella, what do we have as a news down there in pit road of what happened to the number 2 of Christopher Heights?
We had a small glitch on relaying to the crew chief that fuel was also needed as well as tires.
Oh,
so
boy.
he got the rubber, but he needed the octane. He had to come in again.
All right, so a little trouble there from the fuel man, which is really unusual to hear. Normally the fuel guys, the 100%, it's always the guys changing tires, whether they were supposed to change tires or not change tires, is what ends up shuffling around. So, right now we are still being led by the 3 Fords out front of Dustin Kleba and Cody Reeder, with Brian Jones in tow sitting 3rd. Moving on up to the front, gaining back his positions of Vincent Arthur in the 4th position. That's these 4 we currently see sitting on your screen as we speak. I can't wait to see if Ryan Shelton is looking to build up a run. You can almost guarantee that when you see a driver start falling off a little bit, allow the drivers of the line in front to get away from you just a little bit. That is to build up a run. It is extremely hard to pass here at Daytona. So the only way you can do it is get in that aerodynamic bubble a little farther back, get a run through it, and see if you can slingshot past somebody, which is extremely difficult when the guys behind you are trying to run you over as well. So looks like Ryan Shelton back to the drawing board. Can't get anything here or anything done there on Vincent Arthur as he backs it off just a hair. But as we take a look at our top 5 guys, let's rotate back about 2.5 seconds where we find where the real action's at. Smith, Tucker, Josh Conover, Kevin Baumler, and rolling on backward. Nick Gillis is on the bottom with the lap car, Nick Pressey to the outside.
Yeah, Nick Pressey is doing well. It's too bad he did not start when the green flag went down. But I would like to note that Bradley James just laid down the fastest lap so far this evening on Daytona, 46.018.
Bradley James back there in the number 4 car, able to do that exact thing I was talking about earlier. Hitting that aerodynamic bubble and then starting to reel forward at an extreme rate of speed. I believe that should be the Lucas Oil machine we see hanging there on the outside, tailing behind the UPS of Logan Hagerman there. Currently, notice how Derek Chapeau currently holding in the 19th position. And Stella, we are looking at all these guys currently sitting here, but we wheel back another 3.3 seconds to find Brady Moats, John Skabanicki, Blake Hoppy, and Christopher Darling. Notice how different pit strategies out here are collecting different types of cars. Brady Moats came in on lap number 24, yet Skabanicki and Blake Hoppy came in on 27, and Christopher Darling came in on 25.
But they all managed to end up in the same group?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep, a little bit farther behind. Remember, Christopher Darling taking an extra set of tires has ended up shuffling him toward the back. Everybody up front, other than one driver of Josh Conover taking 4, has gone back out there on only 2 tires and fuel. So, right now, I am wondering if a driver like Christopher Heights can get back onto the lead lap here. This is going to be extremely hard for him. Yeah,
if we've got a couple of, all it's going to take is a couple of cautions, but I don't want to say that nasty C word. So he's got some work to do, but he is not down and out.
Now, somebody else who hasn't checking down and out is Joey Stats. Stats currently sitting about 43 seconds off pace. And Stella, you know how fast our fastest time is. So as Joey Stats sits there, we roll back. There's Cody Reeder.
Coming to get him.
Yep. So right now he's only about 3 seconds from going down another lap here. Stats is scrambling. Cody Reeder with an awesome time here tonight. He was hanging out in the back 30 drivers and was able to get back up to the front and take over the lead. Talk about a wild turn of events here. Under a second here for Cody Reeder to Joey Stats. I think Stats is going to be looking to rotate out here, and that way he can go ahead and move on out of the way, because I believe Cody Reeder is definitely beating him on some speed here. Stats hangs out.
He's going to stay low. All right. Hopefully that was a radio coordinated move.
Yeah, unfortunately what this also does is this moves Christopher Heights in front of Joey Stats. Because Heights is able to hang on to this front group and continue rolling. So right now, I believe Christopher Heights would be our first one in the lap lane if this were to go under caution. As we slowly creep up on our halfway point here of this race. An excellent job being done by a lot of our teams out there. Let's roll through them here. Cody Reeder sits in that number 1 spot. Vincent Arthur is second. Ryan Shelton holding on in the 06, currently third with Dustin Kleba and Brian Jones rounding out our top 5. Cody Smith sits in 6th, but about 2.7 seconds off pace. He's fallen way back there, where we find also Dalton Tucker, Josh Conover, Kevin Baumler, and Nick Geilis for our top 10 drivers. Seeing if they've got anything extra, and right now crew chiefs are scratching their heads going, all right, well, we came down on lap 25 for fuel, so we're looking around lap 50, so in another 5 laps they're going to have to redo this and try again. Is this going to be a redo? Are they going to take tires this time or fuel and go to save a couple more seconds to come up with a little extra out there on the track? It doesn't seem that times have plateaued out there. They're still rolling. Like Ryan Shelton, 46.23 is his best. 46.63 was his last time. So I wouldn't say anybody is going to consider taking tires here unless they're trying to tighten up a loose race car out there. But I would say it's almost a waste of time. I'd leave my tire changer sitting on the wall.
Yeah, I'm looking at the fact, if you see several guys in the front going in, and you're in the second clump, do you dive also to try to get with the, the front guys?
Maybe. Right
You
now,
don't think they could
they
get
had,
down there fast enough?
yeah, they had been off by almost 3.6 seconds, and Cody Smith has slowly reeled them in
Yes.
to about 2 before he can find the back half of this field with Brian Jones. Cody Smith is so close. Right now, with a fast race car, they're going to leave that 22 machine out front. But I would say, looking at Cody Smith's pit time, he came in on lap 27. So, maybe.
Yeah,
Right
I was just thinking that way maybe you could change groups. Rather than being the first guy in the second group, you could be the last guy in the first group and be up a little better.
Yep. Depending on timing of your fuel man out there and the way you come into pit. We've seen, heck, we saw Christopher Darling pick up almost 6 spots by coming into pit road a little more aggressively. He didn't do anything or smash anybody out of the way, but he was able to pick up a ton of spots. Unfortunately, Christopher Darling is actually leading our third pack here in the back. Currently, he's got to make up another 4.4 seconds to find Bradley James in the 4. Yep, there we go. Triple fours. You like that? All right, Bradley James, who's currently holding in the 20th position now. It's pretty amazing. Christopher Darling was able to fire in earlier in the pit and make up those positions, yet has fallen back here on the track. Just doesn't seem to be working out. Right now, I'm saying, yep, and it looks like everybody's starting to get active down pit road as everybody's fuel window is opened up as we speak.
Yeah, we saw Christopher Darling lose about 4 places shortly after coming out of pit. We thought maybe there was a maneuver happening, but his teammates just right on by. So I don't know if he made some kind of an adjustment. I mean, this is a fixed setup league, but I don't know. Maybe getting the 4 tires, they were just too cold, being an 86-degree track. Don't know. He did lose a lot of places.
Yep. Now, still continuing. It's going to be a hell of a battle for these guys to come up with that answer that everyone's asking. Currently, the 24 Chevrolet does have our lead here, so looks to see that the Jeff Gordon machine looking to reprise his role as the number 1 car here. He currently stays out front, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he should only have the 06 behind him of Ryan Shelton. Currently looks like the Evernham Motorsports crew has gone ahead and wheeled back a little bit. 34 and 5. I'm wondering if they're starting to do some fuel conservation here to think about what they're going to need tonight to make this happen. Stella, we have broken over the halfway point here of this race on lap number 48. Lap number 50 is underway here at the Pepsi 400 as SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the National Oval Racing Association. Full field here tonight if you're considering coming out here and racing with them. No better time than now, but the slots are closing quickly. Already, it looks like season number 25, they are already starting to work on it. Stella, we would almost think, boy, that sounds awfully early, but when there are hard spots to grab and the pit stalls are full, you've got to hurry up or you're going to be a part-time driver if you even want to compete.
Yeah, every week, these past few, I'd say past month or so, we've had a waiting list in this league as far as who hits the tracks. So I find that just phenomenal.
All right. Well, I see how down here in the infield car care center, we may have a little trouble out there of the number 0 car of Nick Pressey. Stella, see if you can bring him up and see what in the world is going on as Joey Stats is getting way out of shape out there. Stats currently going another lap down here, trying to hang on to it. Super loose. Pit road starting to heat up. Drivers have already come down. Brady Moats, Tyler DeTalent. Looks like Christopher Darling. They're working their way out of pit road. Blake Hoppy working their way out. Stats and Anderhar working their way in. Holy cow. Definitely a huge mix-up here as I see tires smoking there in the back. Guys stomping on the brakes out there, trying to get these cars slowed down. We'll see if we have any speeding penalties. our leaders, and a lot of them who have been up front. Kevin Ballmer, Vincent Arthur, Ryan Shelton. Guys squirting on out of pit road, trying to be as fast as possible. Got to get back out there for this restart. Currently, Josh Conover able to run down these guys up toward the front. Vincent Arthur and Ryan Shelton getting away. Stella, go ahead and talk to me here.
Nick Cressy is a little on the downside right now, and was looking to vent his disappointment in tonight's race.
All right, well, if you want to bring him up for an interview and have a chat with him, as our pit road is starting to heat up with these guys, and definitely take a couple different angles here of our pit road and how busy it is getting down here. Currently, John Scavanicki, and we are currently seeing Tony Ball, Kurt Quist, Martin Pluton, Bradley James out there are working on it. Working their way out of pit road.
Well, hello there, Nick. You are now in the production booth, live and on air.
It's a pleasure to be here, though. I was hoping you'd be after the race, initially.
All right, talk to me about how this race started out there, buddy. What got that car a little upset out there and getting you starting laps down?
It's been a whole thing, you know. The month of June has been honestly pretty much straight up hell for the Haas number net zero car. Started the month with failed motherboard replacement. So I had to spend a week and a half fixing that. Then a RAM stick failed, had to fix that. Then the new motherboard failed, so I had to replace it again. Then my wheel cable broke right after I finally got all of those problems fixed. So I had to start I had to start Michigan on a controller and qualify for Sonoma on the controller. And then I ended up missing Sonoma anyway because I had a heat stroke the day of the race. And now I'm finally back. The new router that I replaced at the start of the month, it's broken, and I had to replace that one, and the new one doesn't work either. I don't know who I upset. Maybe I'm just looking to make a plea out into the void. I don't know what happened, but the team's been hemorrhaging points for a whole month. I'm hoping July we can turn it around. It's just it's been a rough month, and I just wanted someone to talk to about it.
Boy, well, talk about starting on the back foot here. You know, it does. We've seen drivers end up in this kind of a situation where they're back and forth, just problem after problem after problem. Stella, I believe it was, I think even Jay Tway, he's got a problem out there where processor just isn't working. But as we move into the month of July, you know, Chicagoland, New Hampshire, Pocono, and then we're going to even have the crown jewel out there of Indianapolis. Man, I would love to believe that some of these tracks may be an opportunity for you to fight back, but these are tough tracks, man. I would hope that July you're able to turn something around, but I can't really put my finger on one driver out here. I'm going to say, you know, is a New Hampshire champion, is a Pocono, is stellar running that race. It's going to be extremely hard to boomerang back, and you know, how is your team going to try to round it up and get that number 0 car back in the victory lane, if not just a podium position?
I don't know, but you know, this league's full of great people, very competitive people. More so recently than ever. You know, and that's a lot to look up to and live up to. I gotta do something. I don't know. It's in a month where, you know, I almost died. You know, it can't get worse than that, right?
No.
No.
I'm not answering that. Never ask a question you don't know the answer to. But Nick, I mean, you've lost only 2 points or 2 places this last week. I'm looking at you. You're in 12th place in the driver's standings. You've had 1 top 5, 7 top 10s, no penalty points or anything, and you've even had a pole here this season. So you need to look up. You're still swinging.
I I know. I gotta keep pushing. I don't know what direction to start. I'm gonna remain hopeful because I
Yes,
love
stay
talking
out
to you
of the
guys.
heat would be the first thing.
I love talking to you guys. I love racing these guys. I'm gonna stay hopeful. You know, it's been rough.
Yeah, that it has, man. I hate to see it for you, but like, hey, man, I always say there's always way but up. Even though you feel like you're on the bottom, there's only one way to go. Nick Presley, we hope to see you kind of turn this around, buddy, and get that zero car back up there. I know you're strong out there. If you get that blinking under control, which you said you've got a new router and everything, I think you might be pretty deadly out here in the second half of this season.
The router broke.
I'd sidekick it too if I blink that much.
No, the new router broke.
No.
Yeah, like the one I got like 2 hours ago.
Ay, ay, ay.
All right, take Stella
It's-
out there in the chat. Looks like Thomas Harkins has said something. He said it could be worse. You could be a Stenhouse fan. All jokes aside, hang in there and don't lose faith. Stay cool, bud, and we all love watching you race.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Hopefully I'll have next week at Chicagoland. I'll be able to talk to you guys about much more favorable happenings.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. All right, Nick Presley, appreciate you joining us here in the booth, buddy. Hopefully it turns around. Good luck out there.
You as well.
All right, Nick Presley being a little down here as his, you can tell the frustration in his voice out there. What kind of a race and time he's been having out there. Definitely, I feel him. It's definitely a burnout moment. You know, guys start questioning what they do for a living, how do they race out here? How do they? Well, it ends up at a point. Baseball players, football players even get like this. You know, when you know a guy's batting and can't get a hit for 4 weeks. It's not good. When Eli Manning is throwing record number of interceptions for a year, I mean, it's just. It gets in the point where it starts shaking you up, it gets in your head, and it definitely affects the way you drive out there. So hopefully he is able to kind of shake loose the cobwebs out there, get rid of it, and get back to it. So our first caution, I guarantee, is going to be coming out for the night, as we are currently looking at Nick Gillis and the 20 car of Jacob Gladelick got into it.
And we've got these two up here. Oh, be good, 30.
Well, 30's trying to get unhooked from him there as he got stuck on him for quite some time, and his car would not let go. Kevin Balmer seeing his race almost get ruined here as Nick Gillis and the 20 car out there of Jacob Gladelick. Now, Jacob Gladelick was actually caught in the 3 wide, and I don't know if he rode up or somebody came down. So drivers hauling butt around here to get back to the pace car. This will clump everybody together, so pit rotations are going to change. I would say, Stella, right now it would be really a good idea. Everybody come down, and I'm assuming we're going to see everybody come down into pit, possibly 4 tires and fuel this time. Nobody going to be taking 2 to see if they can wedge in a left side set of tires here and get back out there. They can sacrifice 2.5 to 3 seconds. And you guys still admit, looking at these guys, that is 10 lug nuts in a matter of
yes,
3.5 seconds. I think they'll be fine. Let's take a look here at what causes our yellow flag with our 20 car. As we take a look here.
Oh, somebody's already sparking off the wall. That's
Yeah.
whoever came down in front of him.
Yep, the 12 rotated down.
Oh, okay.
20, I do believe, survives. Straightens him back up.
It does.
Yep. And then we saw how the 12 car of Nick Gillis just gets pinched in the wall. Yeah, I don't see anything intentional there of the number 30. I think he's probably just a little bit beside himself as to why this ended up happening.
Yeah, you talk a fire sale down pit road. Holy mackerel, we got some going in and some already coming back out.
Yep. They're hurrying up there, out there on the track. Right now, everybody's shuffling, doing the speed and in and out. Matthew George, we see him trying to squeak out there. Matthew George will end up getting back to the 15th spot.
And we have a huge variation in pit road tactics here. We have fuel and goes. We have 2 tires. We have 4 tires. My goodness. This is going to shake things up without a doubt.
All right, so go ahead and talk a little bit of that George Bush about the strategery out there. Right now, it's going to be Vincent Arthur, Cody Smith, and Ryan Shelton, fuel and go. Dalton Tucker was able to wedge a couple of tires in there. As he gets out there, currently looking possibly third. We'll see where he is with Ryan Shelton, though. I think RC is going to go ahead and try to squeeze a couple of these out. As they are getting it, Derek Chaput currently holding 5th. Anthony Kroback up to 24th. Fuel and go for him, but looks like 9.62 seconds. So a little more fuel to see if they can stuff in as much as they can.
Now, we do have a couple fellas who have not come down since their lap 50 pit stop, and that would be Chase Durheim, Brad Fulham, and Christopher Heights.
Yeah, currently I believe they are sitting in the front of this pack. And they are going to be looking for their wave around.
And then they can go in?
Well, yes, but if they're going to have enough time, they need to have it to the floor right now.
Oh, look at these fellas.
Yep.
We have a whole bunch of guys coming down again for their 4th stop.
Yeah, I would guarantee you this one's a splash of fuel. This one's doing just a little bit extra. As you can see, Thomas Harkins out there thinking the exact same thing. Remember, if we are only looking at maybe maximum we saw a driver make it was 27 to 28 laps. We go back under green on lap 64.
Okay.
Of 96 laps here. I don't think we've got enough.
No. And especially not for those 3 gentlemen who are still on 50s.
Yep. Now they are working their way back around, getting to the back here of this pack. They may be thinking we're going to end up back under a quick caution. Seeing that 61 laps, our first caution comes out. It's going to be very difficult to beat here. Drivers starting to clump together now. As we shuffle through, we'll go ahead and run you through our top 10 drivers. Vincent Arthur, Cody Smith, Ryan Shelton will be 1 through 3. Moving on to Dalton Tucker, who settles down in the 4th in the 42 Haviland machine. Derek Chaput sits 30 in the 38th. 5th, Anthony Kroback is 6th. Kurt Quist, 28 positions from his original qualifying position. Remember, he was out there running with Joey Stats. He ends up getting his lap back. Josh Conover will be sitting 8th. Maybe it's a thing with an 8 car, you know? With Kevin Foster in the 8. All right, moving on to Jake Christenberry, who's going to be hovering in 10th. Pace car heads on off. One driver a lap down here is going to be starting on the inside. Looks like Joey Stats is patiently waiting for Vincent Arthur to get going. And Vincent Arthur get taken off here. And right now, Joey Stats, he should have also had Joseph Andujar up there in behind Joey Stats, but these guys have trouble getting the memo. If you were a lap down, you were on the inside lane. Which is a real bummer there, because now that's going to start him almost 20 cars back.
Yes.
Especially you want the opportunity to get up front and get around Joey Stats, if not get in front of the leader. I'm sure that some of these guys in the front would enjoy having cars off the lead lap, get into the front, and that way you can burn their fuel off and not have to sit there and continue plowing into this win the way you see Vincent Arthur is. Cody Smith is really hard pressed, though. Hard into the wall. Looks like that is going to be Conover.
Yep.
Pepsi 400 been a wild race here so far. Stella, how in the world did we get all separated? No,
I don't know. 3 quick taps, boy.
I was making sure you weren't getting ready to start singing. Oh, boy. All right, check this out. So as Josh Conover gets into the wall, this is going to have guys running up from the back. Conover wants help. Boom! Oh, my
That
gosh!
is not the help he needed. Oh, my heavens. Hold on, guys. Nope, there it is.
That's Hagerman.
Ah. Gee. Well, those that counted on there coming a quick caution again are not to be disappointed.
Who rear-ended him?
66. I don't know. I don't know, but I've seen softer hits in a demolition derby.
That was Josh, dude. All right, so Mr. Conover's still going to hang out in 11th after that.
He maintained. He held it. It was the guys behind that lost
the
it.
45 of Jones, Reeder and Kleber sending him. I think the 45 could not leave and let off.
Oh, and just, yeah. But it's this down here that was so bad because he tried to...
The 88 of Hagerman. He knows better than that.
Here we go. Yeah, that went back up. Oh, he just took out Gladly. Oh.
Now he squeaked
Matthew
on by.
George just barely made it. Wow. That,
Yeah, and the 99 car of Chase Durham there also gets hit. Let's take another look at this. Contact up front. Conover's around. 20 thinks he's clear. Oh, little nudge.
Buddy.
Oh, man. Yeah. Looks like a little case of the TF there. Yeah, watch the 20. You see the nudge off the 16 here. But I think as soon as he straightens it up, look at the target fixation. Clink.
Yes. Right into him.
Yeah, if he had snuck down to the 0-2, he might have made it. And I do think contact was made with the 25. So Matthew George did get hit too.
Oh. He got caught on that back corner.
Yep, but he did not lose it though.
No. You know he's going to get away.
He sees bad things happening.
Get away. Oh.
Right there's the contact.
Did he really?
Yep, just nudged the car.
I mean, it didn't even...
Yeah, watch it jostle the car.
Oh, little sparks.
Yep.
Ooh, lucky dog.
Yep, that he is. But he will have to come down into pit road as they're going to double check his race car and see if everything is A-okay with that. Looks like he does survive, though. Matthew George, this will give him a heck of an opportunity as this moves him up to the 7th position.
Yes.
I did see something out there. John DeTalent saying we were doing a great job in the booth tonight. Appreciate you, buddy. We try our darndest up here to keep it alive and interesting. Speaking of interesting, what an interesting caution that was. We'll see if we may be able to grab somebody from Evernham Motorsports there, Stella, and see if you can grab the 45. And I've got a question.
You sure about that?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Is he currently sitting down in pit road?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll double check on our 45. Yes, he is currently sitting down there for almost 2 minutes now.
Then I will bring him in. Bringing in Brian Jones into the production booth here. Are you sitting in your race car?
Uh-oh. Brian?
He might not be.
Sorry, I'm in the infield care center at this point. We got too much damage to go back out, so...
Whoa! Left
we're
front
done.
tire's missing.
Oh.
Yeah, they won't give it back to us, so we're going home.
Ah.
All right, Brian, this is very... I'm not saying anything bad. This is very unusual of you. It looks like the Evernham Motorsports crew continued pushing the 45, and it didn't look like the brakes were going to slow you guys down.
No. I was out of the gas. I told the guys behind me to get out of the gas. They lifted. It's just a situation of too much momentum, and I really should have tried to go low or go high.
You couldn't
It,
really go low. You had people underneath you.
I know, and
High was the wall.
that's what I was thinking at the time. Is like, I'm in one lane here. That's all I can do. But I don't know. Looking back on it, I probably could have squeezed low, but I was assuming he was going to block if I did that. So I don't know. It's hard to second guess. But we were out of the gas. We were trying to slow down for him.
Yeah, that was pretty rough because we saw from the side it lifted the back end of his car up, and I figured if you hit the brakes, your own team was going to lift you in the air. But unfortunately, not down in victory lane. Brian Jones, what a rough night here, man. A couple of cautions rolling out here and there. What was the Evernham Motorsports kind of game plan heading into this, kind of heading into tonight?
Well, we're going to go out there and win the thing. I mean, we had the strategy. We were saving fuel the whole time. We were the fastest on and off pit roads, so all we had to do was just execute, and cautions fell at the wrong times for us.
All right, Brian. Hate to see it for you. LJ Hernandez not going to be happy either, hoping that 45 machine is going to bring her home tonight. Hate to see it for you, buddy. I believe next we're going to be rolling around in Chicagoland, and we'll see how you do there, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, speaking of which, go and give me the shout-outs, because I saw there was 20% off Atlantis there on the side of your car.
What?
Yeah, if you want to get a foam cannon or a wash kit from Expel, you can use code Atlantis20 at checkout for 20% off your order. Also, don't forget, Expel makes the best PPF in the game, so if you got a new car and you want to protect it, get some Expel PPF on that thing.
Awesome. Brian Jones, good luck to you out there in the next couple of weeks, buddy. Hopefully you're able to turn this around.
Thanks, guys. I need it.
Yep. All right, Brian Jones definitely hating it right now for how this went. As we currently see Vincent Arthur retake the lead here. 06 had some time in the sun out there. Ryan Shelton, that is. And now Vincent Arthur leaves that guy behind. Ryan Shelton been working with him all night here. And does not seem to be doing any more of that. Hendrick Motorsports of Joseph Anderhart, Matthew George, and Jake Kirstenberry finally finds himself at least one of his teammates out there. And look who's on the outside line. The Greg Biffle machine of Christopher Darling. Outside line getting a huge shove by Dustin Kaliba. I don't know if I'd want to be pushed by an Evernham Motorsports crew here. That last caution that did come out back on, I believe, lap number 66 is when they're marking it. Ended up going underway. 26 laps left to go. 25 here at the line with Christopher Darling having the lead.
Wow, and I mean, they just took off on that outside line. Beautiful move.
Cody Smith wants to work with Vincent Arthur behind him, though, as Cody Smith feels he's got a good chance with the DuPont Chevrolet behind him. Right now, seeing if he's got a little extra to give there is currently Vincent Arthur working with Christenberry, but notice outside line is finally coming alive. All night they've been waiting on this, and it finally comes into play as the number 29 of Tyler DeTalent gains his 20th position here currently, holding that outside line very, very tight. Take a look as we're right next to Jake Christenberry, as SpongeBob was maimed earlier in practice. This is the backup car.
Yep. Need to pull that tagline of Brian Jones off the bottom of the screen.
Oh my!
It's getting in my way of seeing SpongeBob. Nice.
Awesome. 24 laps left to go here at Pepsi 400. Daytona International Speedway has been always exciting, but Christopher Darling slinging past as we head down the backstretch. The number 16 Ford, followed by three more behind him, Kleba, Durheim, and Reeder. Right now, still hanging in there. The 97 machine, Chance Durheim, right now showing a lot of hope out there for the Sharpie machine. They had a rough going at the beginning of the season. The Sharpie machine definitely holding on to it now. Darling does a crazy move and rotates to the bottom. Darling now sits fourth as he is now marching backwards. Stella, it looks like the inside line had absolutely no hope out there. And now you may have a chance as drivers are now rotating down to the bottom. I would almost say if you're successful, hold on to that top line. But as you see them peeling off exactly the way they're doing, outside line will fall to pieces.
Yes, now that they've left so many gaps, they no longer have that lovely nose to tail purpose that gives them the speed.
Singular wireless car of Blake Hoppy finally has his opportunity to shoot up to the front and break at least farther into the top 5 if he can, but he is stumbling here because currently he's only got one driver, I believe the 19 of Cody Reeder, and Hoppy's now going to tuck in. Cody Reeder hanging on tight though as he's using a little bit of the door draft that he can as his Dodge, whoop, Christenberry, little blank there. And right now expect Reeder to cut in behind Christenberry here. This may be his opportunity. Right now Reeder's holding out there. Currently Dustin Kleba's left him in the 77 machine. Gets a huge run. Hello.
Martin Plude ends up taking that spot. So we still got a couple hanging on the outside. They're not coming in anytime soon.
Right, Martin Plude being the plumber out there on the inside line, plugging that hole, and he's tucked in behind Jake Christenberry as he snags that position away, holding on to 9th. Currently, Kurt Quist, Ryan Shelton, and Dalton Tucker waiting in the wings, and finally getting in the line is Cody Reeder.
Wow.
He forces it.
All right, give that spotter an extra steak dinner. That was a nice move.
Yeah, well, speaking of nice move, check this out. This is Kurt Quist on the outside line. Looking to pop there to the outside. They're looking to play a little defense. Goes Dustin Kleba. Looks like he is able to hold up that car on the outside of Kurt Quist in the 51 machine. Now it looks like the Marathon car is having a check up just a little bit. Christopher Darling in the Granger. We look off the backside here of Dustin Kleba. Everybody rolling on back. Stella, as we had that last caution come out, Matthew George did spend over a minute down pit road.
Oh, wow. So did Jacob Gladelick.
Yep, he spent a ton of time. The number 12 of Nick Geilis, 4.5 minutes. That's going to do it for his night. And Logan Hagerman out there in the Dale Jarrett, number 88 UPS, is going to be finishing in 32nd tonight. So we'll run through our defunct cars here. As currently Joey Stats is back onto the lead lap. After a few quick cautions, look to see if Tony the Tiger can fight his way up there. He's currently sitting 20th. But our broken down cars go like this. Currently Kyle Rochelle finishes 35th at 25 laps completed. Nick Pressey, we talked to him earlier in the singular wireless car. He unfortunately, oh man, yeah, dies out there as the next caution comes out.
We've got caution.
And I believe Blake Hoppy and Tyler DeTalon are involved. All right, we may see the garage fill up with a few more. And I meant the Net Zero Internet car out there. Nick Pressey finishes on lap number 40. Takes it back to the garage. Brian Jones down and out there on lap number 67. Hagerman turns it in on lap 70. And Nick Geilis, remaining down in pit road for the last 6 minutes, has made it to lap 70 as well, just barely in front of Logan Hagerman. As our next caution does come out here, this one involving Brad Fulham, Blake Hoppy. I'm showing Tyler DeTalent was caught up, and we ended up back under caution here. We'll take a look at it here in just a moment. As this does not go the way they had hoped, not but 8 laps later from a little trouble that Nick Geilis had out there. We'll take a look. Wow, what is the 30 car doing?
I don't know.
Gavin Baumler.
That looked like kamikaze. Did he say bonsai as he went in? I'm
not sure. Gavin Baumler. What? I mean, he had a heck of a run, but he was not looking to give it up here. Look at this. Yeah, the 80 car, Brad Fulham. Quiet all night here, rolling in, unfortunately, in the back 20. I'm just wondering what got into the 30 car and why did he, why was he moving so fast? Maybe we can roll it back just a little bit here.
That's
I
what I was
want to
gonna
take a
ask you.
chase here and see if he ends up with an insane run. Let's take a look. Oh, check up. Check up my stats there a little bit.
Oh, and he didn't see it coming.
Or he
What
saw
we're
an
looking for.
opportunity. Saw an opportunity and sent it here. All right, so this should give our guys a good chance to come down pit road. And I
Looks
would
like
say
everybody
this would,
from 15th back is doing just that.
yeah, I would say this would be a beautiful idea. Come down, get your car fixed up, throw on 4 tires, and your last drops of fuel that you're going to need to make the remainder here of this race. Heading down pit road is Tyler DeTalon as he's working his way out of pit road now. We'll see if his speed can get him in front of Matthew George. It will not. This will give DeTalon a 23rd position restart. He was there in the back 40 when he got caught up in that caution.
Yeah. Now, do you think any of these fellas 1 through 15 are going to come in?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a little late. They come down. They're going to be sacrificing the front half of the field.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the 97
true.
of
You always
Chance,
see-
I would say, is surprising. Kirk Quist, that's surprising. But they are looking to stretch this 29 laps. And this caution's going to help. Big time.
Okay.
Well,
Sorry,
they're able
John,
they're
but
able
he's still rolling.
they're able to save almost a lap or two of fuel on this caution. They go around, cut the engine off, and they'll be able to save a lap or two, so they may be in the good here.
Derek Chaput says, nope, I'm not going to do it.
Yep, tries to psych somebody out. He was thinking about it. I think Plute was thinking the same thing. Plute was thinking about coming on down. He came down lap 68. Currently, a couple of drivers who've worked very well together. Martin Plute and Christopher Darling side by side out there. They'll be restarting 14th and 15th here. And Stella, I don't know if you know, but or can remember
Probably
that far
not.
back. Martin Plute and Christopher Darling back with the Beer Street Journal series. We had them back with 10-4 Broadcasting and WRN out there with Mitchell. And then over at the High Octane Sim series, we've seen
I
these
was
two
listening
drivers.
back then. Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, that's been a while. That's been a couple years now. But it's funny, it's a small world. These guys returned back and get a
And we
call
see
to
'em
call
again.
out their name again.
So Cody Reeder and Anthony Kroback, I am figuring, are the only ones with 4 tires new, at least on lap 67, 68. The rest of the fellas up here in the top 15 only got fuel on their last run.
Yeah, fuel
So
are
that
only
could
one
shake-
set.
Yeah, that could shake up a little bit just in the front pack. And now this backpack, getting 4 tires and fuel, they could really make a difference.
Yep. So you're doing it too.
Okay.
All right, Kevin Baumler working
What'd I
his way up there. I think they're going to go
He's
ahead and
still
nail him
rolling.
for a caused caution, so this may be an EOL
Oh,
here.
yeah.
As the 20 car
Did he-
becomes active once again.
You get a bumper back on?
The 99 car did not.
Okay.
So, and neither did
Neither
Kevin.
did 30.
Yep.
Okay.
Say it, bummer, dude.
We have some topless drivers this evening.
All right, we get back underway here. Back under green. 15 laps left to go. So continue charging forward. Already a little gap starting to build in between the drivers. Josh Conover starting to lose a little bit of separation here from the front pack. I think he's thinking they're going to be mixing it up out here. Check out Derek Chaput. This is more than once he's ended
No.
up in a 3 wide.
Cody. Yeah, Cody's been making some sideways moves there. He's jumpy.
Well, 22's rather annoyed. Inside line
Yes.
did not get going like he wanted. He's going to, yeah, right now as
Oof.
Chapeau tries to shut the door, Kurt Quist is going to be taking over here.
What?
Kurt Quist on a rampage here, coming back from the 35th position to get the lead.
You know, it's kind of like a marathon.
Boy, tough run here as he fights his way up to the front. You were kind of joking around a little bit with the 97 car. He, unfortunately, the Sharpie machine not going to be able to erase the amount of numbers. He's rolling back, currently down to the 13th position after starting first at the restart. Dustin Kleba moves up to second. Cody Smith, you said he's a little agitated. He finally calms down for third. Skavanicki is fourth. Kroback nuzzles into fifth as Derek Chapeau finally gets out of the 3 wide, but right now he's got Vincent Arthur, Josh Conover, and the 0-2 of Tony Ball. Right now, that's going to be a dangerous trio here, and expect Vincent Arthur to start making paths up to the front.
Ooh, but a lot of guys just moved up to that high line. That's interesting. Because I thought, wow. Yeah, I thought Vincent Arthur was going to be pulling that outside line.
Yeah, well, pulling out is going to be Dustin Kleba as he pulls the plug out there on Kurt Quist. Quist's lead was short-lived as he now drops down to the 6th position. Led a lap, though, so that's got to be something. Is currently watch the inside line. Conover 4 wide.
Oh, wow.
Christopher Darling gets the message. Full send, said dead center. He said, nope, I'm going to push Vincent Arthur. Now Vincent Arthur's getting loose.
Oh, my goodness.
We get more
stay
of a
above. Yes.
top-side view here of the 70 car who's caught dead center of Anthony Kroback. Kroback has the confidence out there as the number 22 looking to block. He's got to either block or not. Right now, the 70's going to have the roll. Currently, Kleba watching these cars all behind him end up in some trouble. Let's take a look off the back.
Came off the wall, but they've maintained.
Yep, as they do the bump and run here. Notice how Josh Conover has been marched out, and he hangs in the top. Currently, that's going to drop right now. That should be the 16 machine out there, Christopher Darling, as Martin Plute goes ahead and makes up the difference. Boy, tough run here.
Yeah, Tony Ball can push Conover as much as he wants, but he's got no place to go.
Yeah, Conover trying everything he can to get through there. Here's from Martin Plute's area.
Goodness,
Off the
into
wall
the
for the
wall.
97. And he has an escape route. Still 3 wide, though. Dustin Kleba blocking that outside lane. I don't blame him. Right now, the best thing he can do is run that dashed white line and hold the outside. Tony Ball going to be in trouble here. I believe that is Cody Reeder. Yes, it is. Cody Reeder from Evernham Motorsports starting to charge back up to the front. And look how many drivers are clumping together here.
Gavnicki's given a good push there on the outside line, but he's doing a little bit too much sawing back and forth for my taste.
Mm-hmm. Right now, still waiting for the process to come into play. The number 1 of Brady Moats hanging out in the back. Currently, Moats is sitting 14th. Right now, a little blink there from Christenberry. We had lost him for quite some time. Let's hop on top here of Brady Moats as he goes ahead and puts Guileless into the rear view. Once again, the SpongeBob car returns back to our screen. Let's check back in on Cody Reeder, sitting 6th. He's flossing his way up to the front, now sitting 6th. Good move there. Looks like he makes a bid here for that center lane. Let's hop up top here a little more. As Martin Plute currently holding in 3rd. Notice this. So Dustin Kleba, Christopher Darling, Martin Plute, Cody Reeder, and Vincent Arthur. This is pretty crazy to see how the Hendrick Motorsports crew, the Dale Earnhardt crew come all back together and now are charging up to the front. Vincent Arthur making his own lane. I told you he would.
Yes, he
is. And here he comes, dead center.
Oh, make the shoot.
Well, Evernham Motorsports definitely got 1 and 2 here. Expect the 19 to block while 9
is in
lives.
the corner to him. Nope, there he goes. Yep, I saw Tony clear
The-
that left corner.
The
and
big
that
one
was
here.
It.
As Kurt Quist slings down, looks like Cody Smith survives. Dalton Tucker shoved down into pit road.
But Kleba, Reeder, Conover, Shepu, and Darling all clear the mess.
Hoppy
And they will
slings up to 6th.
They will now have another chance to go ahead and clear that 60s pit stop and get back.
Right front wheel missing off Ryan Shelton.
Oh.
Martin Plute. I think he's got heavy damage to the nose here. Yep. 77 got maimed. All right, we'll see if we can take a look here.
Yeah. Watch.
The 0-2 giving a shove here to Vincent Arthur. I see that.
There. Yes, but right there. He cleared it and made contact with him again. He had cleared him on the outside edge and then made contact with Vincent. Look at this. Oh,
look
my
at the 12.
Heavens.
Tyler DeTalent sending Guileless into him. 06 up in the air. Yeah, that's going to catch DeTalent, send him back up the track.
And 4, slow down. Slow down. Goomba.
Yeah, look at Joey's stats here in the 5. I think
In
he
the
might
5.
just clear it.
Does he really?
Yeah, I think 5 clears.
01. Here comes the 01. Same thing. Oh, you.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh. So close, but yet so far.
.22 machine also gets in trouble. Watches it happen. 22, look, saves it. Off
Blink.
the wall.
Yes.
Oh. Did you see the 25 of Matthew George donate a tire?
No.
Oh my God. That was... Watch as he's trying to get through here. The 25 car of Matthew George as we come up on the wreck. I just like how he's okay, everything's okay. We're all right. And there you go. You can have this.
Oh my goodness.
That wheel bearing said it had had enough. It's off it goes.
I have never seen that. Racing has given me a first today.
Holy cow. Tons of drivers involved in this one. Currently, I am showing 11 drivers still on the track.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh my goodness. Everybody who went down the pit still there.
Yes. So very, very busy. Looks like Tyler DeTalent is able to fire back off. Tyler DeTalent saying that was the Arca Break Central here. So we'll run through who was involved here and who was able to get back out on the track. Ryan Shelton, Bradley James, Drake Christenberry, Malton Plute. Looks like Joseph Anderhar, Tony Ball, Nick Guileless, Brady Moats, Matthew George. Involved in this. Tyler DeTalent was involved. Just to name a few. All right, everybody getting active back out there. Tony Ball, Ryan Shelton, and Matthew George, our tire donators, stay down pit road. They're going to be hanging out here with Brian Jones, who's been down there for the last 27 minutes. As they clump back together and get ready to go. Jay out there's recommending the tripod here. Notice all front bumpers and hoods missing.
My goodness. But they're rolling.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not junkyard wars out here as they get ready to get back underway. Tyler DeTalent might have a leg up here. There's not much damage from him. As we'll take a peek at his I lied. Sorry. It was okay until I clicked on. from the chopper view looking down, as our Michelin chopper view is not apparently close enough. What a run here. 6 laps left to go. We'll have 5 at the line. Remember, Stella, old school, we can finish under caution.
Okay. Let's not.
Thomas Harkins is out to say introducing the Daytona Modified Special.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. So only a few drivers made it out of there unscathed. Joey Stats has a chance here. Remember, Stats even ended up laps down. And Christopher Heights, I mean, heck, think about that guy. His fuel man didn't come to the party. He's still on the lead lap here.
There you go. 13th.
All right, Dustin Kleba. He's going to get us going here. 5 to go. Kleba and Reeder. Josh Conover sitting in third. His Chevrolet breaks up the Fords all in the top 5.
A lot of shifting going on.
Yep, well,
I
there's
don't
going to
mean
be...
with that stick.
No, there's going to be agitation here. And I see around the Christopher Heights, Chase Durham area.
Yep. Okay, so Nick, give me a push, because 99 is not going any faster. There we go.
Kurt Quest on it. It's going to bring up Cody Height. Now, hopefully they can all work together and come up with something. Let's move up to our front pack here. As Kaliba's going to be under fire. Yellow flag's out. And tell me it's not right as I pulled off. Line back. Line back is around. Is Cody Smith? Smith to pit.
No.
And Kevin Ballmer.
Was off track.
Yeah. I'm showing Brady Moats as well.
Oh, my. What happened?
Tony Ball in the 0-2 has taken it back to the garage. Back on lap 89 with our last caution out there.
We don't need no stinking fenders.
What happens here? I mean, this is kind of late in the run. Here's Kevin. Oh, dude.
Clink.
Dude, there was
Clink,
nowhere to go.
Clink. Yep. Ow. Wow. Wow.
Martin Plute has got to squeak through here somewhere. I see the 22 of Cody Smith. Smith has probably ripped the steering wheel off.
Yep.
He's annoyed.
He's gone. I do believe Cody Smith said, I'm done.
Yep, he's retired for the night. It's too close to the end and too much damage. Speaking of damage, the number 4, there he is. That is our next tire.
Bradley James. Oh!
Has lost the
another
left front.
tripod.
Yep.
Jay would say.
I don't... How is the 43 unfazed? This guy's got no damage. All right, John Scavanicki. Right now I'm going to be rooting that guy on. He better get his butt back to the front. All right, coming down pit road, Vincent Arthur's going to try to get a little damage repair. His car is
He's
in
missing a front end.
quite some shape here.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody who's had damage is going to come down and try to fix up some more. I would say you can still be pretty competitive out there if you at least have a bumper on there. But most guys are just hoping to have a tire still in the car.
Okay, so these laps are counting?
Yes.
Do we not have green-white checkers?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
I would confirm with RC.
Okay.
Because this was the switch year that they started messing around with that. That and the lucky dog position. But we'll see. Dustin Kleba, Cody Reeder, Josh Conover, Christopher Darling holds up 24 positions for 4th. And Derek Chapeau gaining 13 to sit 5th. Right now, everybody moving up a ton of positions here. Anthony Kroback gaining 23 as it currently sits 7th. And Jake Christoberry doing a little bit of blinking out there. Currently Blake Hoppy gaining 20. Stella, say it.
Green-white checkers.
Unbelievable.
So that ought to give the guys a minute to catch up.
K-Doggy out there joining us right here at the end here of this race.
What's up? What's up is you've missed Daytona.
Yep.
Shameful.
It was a fantastic race.
Up to lap 60.
Yep, close to the end. About 54 minutes into this run. And we got our first caution. I wouldn't say finally. Would love to see this thing go green all the way, but it clumped our drivers back together. We are now currently pacing under our 5th caution here tonight, as they are starting to become a little more frequent here, and everybody's starting to get a little agitated. No one wants to give up any positions out there, especially around the number 30 car area. Thomas out there saying his anxiety.
Has he made it back onto the track? Yes, he has. All right. He is sitting currently in 18th, Mr. Kevin Baumler.
All right, Stella, no matter what, even though we've got guys passing back and forth, getting upset, doing a few different things out there on the track, we hold everything tight to the 03, 04, 05 season that we're taking a look at here. And I want to point out that the rules of the National Oval Racing Association still apply.
Okay.
So caused cautions, incident points, things like that are going to end up putting a few of these guys on the back. Running. I mean, Kevin Ballmer, starting with a number 1 position here tonight, I think has been in a few cautions here so far, and I'm not sure. I would say that might be at least his second caused caution here tonight. There's a chance this guy's going to be on probation, if not being able to qualify until the playoffs. So he's got to clean it up here. I know it's Daytona. It's a super speedway. Guys are battling for the same position, but we can't be doing this right here at the end. So, taking us back to the restart is going to be Dustin Kleba out there in the number 9 Dodge machine. Let's go. 2 laps left to go here. Kleba will lead us off already. Separation starting around the Blake Hoppy area. Let's get a little bit closer here to the action as the separation has already begun. Cody Reeder breaks to the outside.
Oh no, Here we go.
Blake Hoppy gets punked out of there. This should not bring out a caution. Back down into the bottom, and he's going to be left behind. Hoppy had a chance to come away with a podium position here tonight, but gets sent out of the way. All right, white flag.
If we're not careful, Josh Conover and Dustin Kleba may end up causing their own. They've got enough space. I don't think we should take a risk.
The last lap of the Pepsi 400 is underway. Dustin Kleba, Josh Conover, Cody Reeder shuffling here in the back around the Crowback area. I see Hood up. 70's flying into the infield here. That's not going to bring a caution out. Let's keep going here, as I believe Christopher Darling was another driver involved in that. Christopher Darling trying to get back going. Right now he's going to be pretty uptight about that as we catch up to our lead. 3 wide here.
Oh.
Curly, watch the number 15 giving the shove here for Cody Reeder. Fantastic job here by Cody Height right now. He's going to be thanking him all the way to the line. Cody Height with Dale Earnhardt finally coming up with his teammate. 19 of Cody Reeder still looking for an area. Here we come to the line. Josh Conover's got him.
Oh, my heavens.
3 wide, ends up finishing it off with Cody Height and Derek Chaput, and all the Evernham Motorsports guys got marched out.
Wow. The 38 of Derek Chaput just squeaking in down on the bottom. Boy, but Josh Conover can definitely thank Cody Height for that one.
Yeah, out of numbers, it looked like the Evernham Motorsports crew should have had this. We'll take a look back at the Christopher Darling wreck here. It happened on lap 97, which took out the back half of our front pack here. I don't know if the 51 slid across his rear bumper. He did. Kurt Quist turns him around. That gets Dalton Tucker out of shape. The 70 gets hammered. And Kroback can't see a thing.
No idea where
Yeah.
he's going. I hope he doesn't have a full motion rig. That was painful.
Yeah, and also this is actually back when Blake Hoppy got turned. The 70. Whoa. Stella, the 15 shove his way through here?
No.
It looked like the 15 had sent it. Watch it. Watch here. A guy who helps our guy to the end here. Gives a nudge to the 70.
That part I don't think was, but when 70 made contact with 31, that was definitely the, oh, goodness.
Tyler DeTalent out there joining him.
Little synchronized spinning.
All right, this will give us an opportunity to go ahead and take a look at where our running is and find out where your drivers ended up. I would say this is also a good time to figure out how close Derek Chaput was out there to Cody Reeder today. Awesome job here by Josh Conover, and he'll be coming into the light here in just a moment. Cody Height and Derek Chaput, we're waiting for them to go ahead and get clumped up here with us, and we'll be talking it out. Some of the drivers you thought may have come away with a win here tonight are not the ones you thought. I know Josh Conover out there. Both Cody Height and Derek Chaput both started outside the top 10. Wow. Josh Conover enjoying the last of his burnouts here. We'll hopefully be able to talk to him here in just a second. Guys, hang on there, and we'll be right back to go ahead and talk to our top 3 drivers. Alrighty, everybody. Third place finisher. We get Derek Chaput up here in the 38 Ford. Comes away with a third place finish, especially after how much tumbling, bumping, and grinding there was out there. A lot of drivers having tons of trouble fighting their way up to the front, and Stella catches up with him down there in pit road.
I do. Here is Derek Chaput. He's been a latecomer to the league. He's been in 5 races so far, but look at you here on the podium. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
So, he was talking about bumping and grinding on the track. Hopefully that didn't involve too much of your car, did it?
No, I stayed pretty clean for the most part. There was a couple times where puckered a little bit and kind of just held my breath and made my way through it. I was lucky to get through and finished with a pretty clean race car at the end of it.
I agree. Several of our cars out there tonight have no front ends, no bumpers, but you do look pretty pristine on the screen there. So next week we are headed into Chicago, I believe. Is that correct, Patrick? Chicagoland?
Oh, yes, it should be. Yes.
160 laps. You ready for that?
Ready as I'll ever be, I guess. I'm not too good with the 1.5 miles, it seems, but got to do what we got to do.
You're darn good with the 2.5 mile tonight. So why don't you give me your shout outs and we will see you next week. What you got?
Yeah, I'd like to just give a shout out to my wife for letting me race all these weeks, and to my buddy Logan that runs in the 88 car. He didn't have as much luck as I did tonight.
Oh,
And
no.
shout out to you guys just for running a great broadcast for the league.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. So, yeah, keep the M&M's car on there. I like it. I can find you. I can identify you.
There we go.
I'll tell you, that's half the battle up here. Oh, but again, congratulations, and we'll see you at Chicagoland.
See you guys next week.
All right,
Bye.
Derek Chaput, awesome job here tonight, placing in third, bringing that only Ford here into the top positions as he had trouble out there early in the race. Definitely his qualifying position did not show him having any sort of an extra oomph to get his way up to the front, but that is going to bring us up to our second place finisher of the number 15 of Cody Height. Now, Cody Height had really has got to be getting a pat on the back from his buddy out there of Josh Conover, pushing him into the lead. And right now, Cody Height, a lot of work out there on the track and trying to stay clear. You only had a little bit of trouble back there on about lap 99, lap 100. Talk to me a little bit about how you get your mind reset back up there, fight your way back to the front, and help push a teammate to the win.
Oh man, it was wild. I think I was behind every wreck that happened tonight. Like, I don't know how I avoided it. But no, me and Josh were talking about it. We recreated the July 2001 race with Junior winning and Mikey finishing P2.
Yeah.
There you go.
Was this coordinated? Did you guys say, hey, let's see if we can do it?
I mean, we talked about it before the race started because, we were like, teammates going to help teammates. We're not going to leave each other all night. And then we ended up getting separated pretty late into the race there. And I just ended up having a huge run down the back, and Josh was 3 wide in the middle with nobody behind. I don't know how he didn't wreck. I literally picked his back tires up off the ground.
Yes.
When I didn't lift, I had nothing. I was like, we're either wrecking or we're winning, and we're going.
Man, well, let's roll it back a little farther than that as we see a little bit of a slow-mo here of Blake Hoppy sideways in front of you. I mean, how bad you pucker right before that moment?
Oh, man. There was a couple of times in the race where I was like, it's over, it's done, we're wrecking right now, and somehow avoided it both, maybe 3 times, but twice that stands out in my head.
Yeah, well, okay, so we start moving out of the super speedways where really anything can happen, but we start moving more into the cookie cutter tracks as we get farther on down the line. Chicagoland's next. Well, Pocono somewhere in there, a little farther toward the end of July, we're at Indianapolis. I mean, what is it looking like here for the 15 machine? And, is there a possibility we'll see you now as the bridesmaid, but one position up?
I would hope so. I feel like this new car kind of fits my driving style a little bit more than the old car did. It's definitely a lot of fun to drive. So maybe I can put a little bit of practice in and get one spot better coming up at some point.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's it for me for you, buddy. Go ahead and talk to me about that Napa 15 Chevy Monte Carlo here, and go and give me your shout-outs while you're at it.
Oh man, you guys put on a great broadcast every week. I appreciate that. It makes it a lot more fun because everybody knows we got a show to put on, so we got to do it for the fans. Appreciate my wife who lets me do this and deals with me while I come back here and sim race. And everybody go like and subscribe SimTraX, and go like and subscribe my channel. That's all I got.
All right. Awesome, man. And definitely, nice. I say I try to set myself aside from some broadcast companies, rotate through all the drivers. You can't just stick to the top 5 guys unless you guys are doing a really awesome job and you're killing each other up there. Then we hang out there with you. Cody Height, congratulations on a second place finish there, buddy, and we'll see you in the upcoming weeks. I expect a lot out of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
You too, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Long time no see for the number 8 machine. Josh Conover goes ahead and puts it in victory lane here tonight. What a run here you had. And talk about when the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated team lines up behind the Evernham Motorsports crew out there of Dustin Kaleba and Cody Reeder. You were able to come away with a win, and the number 8 got in trouble here tonight as well. Conover, talk to me a little bit about this, that when you got caught in the big one back on lap 99, how did you reset and then get your way back to the front?
It was a big mental reset. I don't know. Looking back, I probably should have played it different, but I moved up thinking they were a little bit further back, so maybe they could have saw it quicker than the bottom would have. And like I said, looking back, I probably should have just done something completely different or gone to the wall maybe. And yeah, I don't know if that necessarily killed Brian, because I know he DNF'd, but obviously that started his downfall, so hate that for him. But yeah, I thought I was done, and actually I think I only had like 15 seconds of damage, so apparently this car is a tank, at least more than some of the other cars in the service. And yeah, sat there, got it fixed, and racked them back up and tried coming to the field. And I kind of used the last restart before the green white checkered to learn, and I kind of stayed hooked up with them, and they kind of stayed a little higher. And I knew I had to get in front of Cody to even have a chance. Those two are inseparable when they're 1-2 like that, and they would have most likely finished 1-2 if I didn't try and do something. So as soon as I kind of had a little bit of a run and they kind of stayed a little higher on the start going to 1, I had to go low, and luckily Dustin came down to block me, and from then on I wasn't lifting. I pushed him out as far as I could to kind of set something up, and the moves just fell our direction. Big shout out to our boy Mikey in the Napa 15. He wouldn't have done without him.
3 wide coming out of turn number 4. You guys, I thought we might see a pile up, but you guys held it very well all the way around and end up coming to the line without wrecking out there. There was a tumble up toward the back of the field though, but I would say, every red car had their opportunity here tonight to fire their way up to the front, and it just seemed to be, it was your time here to shine tonight. Now, a little, oddly enough, to see Vincent Arthur kind of peel off the way he did here tonight. I was saying he was conjuring up a little Jeff Gordon power, but you think maybe a little junior power came here with you on a plate track?
Well, it's funny. I think I've mentioned this to you before. I know Dustin and Cody always pick on me for it, but I would say for my standards, it's been a down year. I think Brady said I think this will be 4 podiums now, but my first win, we're over halfway through the season basically. Yeah, and we have good speed every week, but I always shoot myself in the foot somehow, some way, and typically the past couple weeks it's not been good finishes. So definitely needed this, especially after last week. Like I said, I know the bubble gap to P10 was getting kind of tight, but this will help because I don't see a lot of guys actually near me as far as points in the top 10. So that helps, but yeah, it's just like I said, the KPR, Everham, if you want to go 04 terms, it would have been tough to beat. And I know we were kind of at each other's necks earlier in the race when I made my mistake. And I think 3 wide, like you said, I know Mikey, aka Cody Height, gave me a heck of a shot. My rear tires were actually off the ground, but we all stayed straight. And like you said, we were 3 wide for a little bit there, and we all finished. All 5 of us still managed to be within a 1/10 and a half of the finish. So kind of wish there was a little more cars and we didn't have the carnage on the white flag and then I guess coming to the checkered. But all in all, I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, what a race here, man. All right, while we get your shout-outs, go ahead and give me your thoughts here as we move to Chicagoland, New Hampshire, and Pocono next. All of them over 120 laps. That's going to be That's going to be a heartbreaker, and it's going to definitely test a lot of these guys' endurance out here.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I actually forgot the schedule was this way back in 04 and like 05 and stuff, where we'd run Pocono, do a couple weeks, and then we're right back to Pocono. Luckily, hopefully, Pennsylvania weather's nice to us and it's not foggy, because I know you don't like the overcast skies, but
No.
hopefully we can get a clear sky and hopefully a hot racetrack. I think this car, I know for Chicagoland qualifying, I think it's like the hottest air temp we can get, clear skies. I think it's like 135 track temp for Q over there right now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she's cooking quite literally. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I said, we can get hot tracks, especially like Chicagoland. I don't personally know what this car is going to do, but I think maybe we could see 2 lanes come in. New Hampshire, I feel like you're kind of, got what you got for there. And then even Pocono, I mean, I think Brian dominated, we'll just use that term, when we were there a couple weeks ago. And truthfully, I would expect much of the same. Maybe Dalton can figure out his strategy, and Dustin, not speed on pit road, and he'll be up there with Brian too. But truthfully, not 3 tracks that I prefer. I've looked into a win, I think, last year in the next gen at New Hampshire, because Dustin got cleaned out on the white flag. But yeah, it's nice to get one, but obviously everybody wants more. But I don't know. I think with the field we have now, I think there was 34 actually took the green tonight, because Pressy came in a little later. I think he said he was having internet issues. And we're still missing guys. So I mean, there was guys tonight that signed up or said they'd be here, or at least that said a Q lap, that didn't make it. So I think, like I always say, if we can get everybody clear with personal life stuff and whatnot, I think we can easily have 43 cars. And I think truthfully, with the group of guys we have, if we can get through the first corner and not be on top of one another, I think we can put on green flag racing and a bunch of green flag pit stops.
Awesome.
We did that tonight.
Yeah. They went almost 60 laps for their first caution. I mean, we almost broke past the halfway point before we got there. Well, I mean, what an awesome. Actually, we did, dumbass. Anyway, all right, Josh, go ahead and give me a shout out to everybody.
La 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 la.
No, I say it every time I talk to you, which I feel like, again, this year's been kind of down for my standards, but every time I'm up here, you guys for the broadcast, I always love coming back watching. And obviously, when you're up talking post race, it's always fun to go up and watch again. But you guys for the broadcast, like I said, everybody that showed up. I mean, myself and Joey may not look like it some weeks in the beginning of the year, especially, but we're out on Facebook commenting on people's posts and trying to bring guys in and have all skill levels here. That way, no matter where you're at on track, you're battling somebody. I mean, obviously everybody wants to win, but you can't all be the same talent level, and that's just kind of hard to do on iRacing. But no, I mean, the 35 that showed up tonight, hopefully, like I said, we can keep them around and keep growing. Maybe have go or go home. I know, like I said, we have, I think, 50 rides filled. So if everybody again shows up, because personal life doesn't get in the way and such, we'll have go or go home qualifying and 43 car fields, and hopefully good shows for you guys as always. But yeah, shout out to Mr. Mikey Height, or Cody Waltrip, whatever name you want to give him. And Derek in the 38. I was talking to him a little bit. His career best NORA finish so far, and maybe we'll see him a couple spots higher, down the road somewhere. And yeah, like I said, just everybody that shows up. I mean, obviously everybody wants to win and such, but seeing full fields basically, or close to it, and then being able to, like you said, run, I think it was 60 some laps, caution free, green flag pit stops. That's what you want. Even if it's only 30 cars or 25, whatever it may be, if we can stay clean and green, put on good battles all throughout the field, from the leader to 30th, and it's a good show for you guys. And like I said, green flag pit stops, that's a win from an admin standpoint. So we'll go Q for Chicagoland, and get ready for the post race show, and I guess see you guys next week.
Awesome. Good luck to you out there, Josh. What an awesome job, man. And glad to see you here for Victory Lane, man. I think it's been some time coming.
I would say I hope I can see you again, but I feel like for the first one of the year, there isn't a more suitable place for the old 8 Budweiser car that I'm driving this year for Brady. So I feel like for Cody and myself to go 1-2 at any track, I feel like Daytona is the perfect one to do that. So we probably won't be up here again until Dega, but hey, I'm all right with that. It fits the model we got going here.
There we go. So you just got to hang in there until then. Good luck to you, Josh.
Exactly. Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right, Stella, we end up wrapping this one up. What a wild run there for Conovers. We did get the slow-mo as he was talking of his tires coming up off the ground a little bit, at least unloading that suspension pretty hard there as guys are ready to go here toward the end, and they ended up pushing him to the win. Cody Height, awesome job here all the way, and man, I could say they're probably thinking for a better race, less cautions, but regardless, what a run this was here, Stella, and glad to see these guys here at the National Oval Racing Association do just that.
Yeah, I had fun. It was exciting. Caution or two brings them back together, bunches them up, makes for more passing and more jostling, and that to me is the best part of racing.
So it's like restarting the race. So you're used to the pack racing instead of back in 04 where these guys were mixing it up out there, all spread apart. Some guys almost ahead by half the track. So a couple things do need to change, but that was an awesome race here tonight for the Pepsi 400. Our winner comes in the number 8 Chevrolet of Josh Conover. Next week you'll find us at Chicagoland. Could be an exciting race there as well. New Hampshire will be nail biting as guys try to make it around each and every turn. And then we're going to move on to Pocono. What a rough race that's going to be before they head to Indy. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the National Oval Racing Association, the Gen 4 Cup Series. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.